So I'm starting to realize why they suppressed me. I am starting to understand. So most of you were not around. You didn't, you weren't around when you were only around, like, had they were willing to let people find out that I was crazy. Oh, they were willing to let people see that after they made me crazy because they fucking drugged me. Like, I cannot really express that enough about the drugging. The drugging really kind of set everything off. I was doing just fine. I was in the best shape of my life. I was primed. I was dangerous. I had already all these things that are coming out, the Epstein files, Paul the false apostle, the fact that the founder of the Christian church, the Catholic Church, is the literal antichrist. That's also coming out. And I wrote a whole ass article about that in 2012 called The Ravenous Wolf. And I outlined all the ways that the Apostle Paul, who wrote most of the New Testament, I outlined why he's actually the Antichrist. Turns out I was right. But unfortunately, back in 2012, when I published this article on Facebook, um, this was not widely known, and it was seen as a problem that I was saying these things. I had so many cops. I had every cop in Montgomery County looking at me. Facts. I was on every fucking watch list because of who I married. And then in like 2013, and in 2013, I was working at Business Suites, which has since went out of business. Interestingly enough, um, Business Suites was an office complex, like a turnkey, where all you had to do was provide your furniture, like not your furniture, your computers, and then like Business Suites provided everything else, like office furniture, mail delivery, mail service, secretary, answer your phones. Like, it was the perfect solution, right? And so I dealt with a lot of really very wealthy, successful clients, right? And so I am the face that everybody sees when they get off the elevator. So there is so much pressure on me to look a certain way and act a certain way, and the hair, the nails, the makeup, the outfits. Like, it was a performance to well, hello there. It was a performance to work for this company. They chose me specifically because I was pretty, right? And I looked the part. Like, the hair was like, this is Houston, right? I'm a blonde, blue-eyed woman. Like, I look the part. I look like I belong, right? I look like the face that they want to present to people getting off, to billionaires and millionaires getting off the airport or the elevator. Well, we rented a suite of offices to a man who, it would turn out, was Hell's Kitchen Irish. He was Irish Mafia. And he was paying $48,000 a month for office space. And he took quite the shine to me. And he asked me to interview to be his secretary. And I said yes, because why would I not? I didn't know, first of all, at the time, I was very naive and I did not realize who this man was. I wasn't thinking Irish Mafia. I don't think too many people would have, right? He was just a businessman. He was this gregarious Irish uncle. Like, he was, as a hobby, he was an Elvis impersonator. And so he was very charming also. And so I agreed to the interview because he wanted to hire me, and he really made it sound like he could pay me more and I would get to travel, and it sounded like a lot of fun working for him, especially getting to go to Vegas, right? And so I said yes, and I dress for the interview. The day comes and I meet him at his office, and he has an associate, the tall, dark, and dangerous type of associate. And it doesn't take long. He just starts telling me all these things, right? He starts um, telling me what he does, his business, and what he's about. And then, then that he had asked me to go with him on a ride along to buy a bank. A bank. He's going to buy a bank. And so I'm sitting in the back seat, and he's on the phone with his associate in New York, and he's trying to move currency out of Russia. And that's when I realized that I am in deep shit. And I'm in the wrong place, and I am in so much trouble. And now I just have to get through whatever happens. I don't know what's going to happen now. I'm freaking out, and I can't give anything away. I have to be completely stoic. I have to act like I am not at all horrified and in fear for what I have just heard and the implications of it all. I am in so much trouble for being in that car. And I realized it, but I had no fucking understanding of just how serious it was, because once I was in that room with him and I was alone with him and his associates, there was nothing to do but try to get through it. That was it. I was trapped. Well, unfortunately, this set off multiple alarms, and I was removed from my position and I was sent to work in the Marriott next door as the front desk at the spa. I could no longer stay employed after that. I could no longer, because once I knew what this man was about, I knew that I had to remove myself from him and any influence. Like, I couldn't work for him. And I knew this. I just had to figure out a way to gracefully extricate myself from the situation, which was horrifying and so awkward. It was because of who I was married to. This was a big fucking deal. This was the worst fucking thing that could have happened, considering who I was married to and what lists was already on. This was so bad, guys. I don't think you understand that it set off a chain reaction of events that really ultimately was the nail in the coffin of my entire life, my marriage, my family, everything. This one fucking event. Like, things were like the whole I knew we were under surveillance. I knew my entire family. But this was like, holy shit, she's actually doing something. Like, now she's fucking with Russians. Like, oh my god, I was in so much trouble. And so I decided to just kind of play it off and not pursue anything, because I thought, well, if they know I'm not actually trying to I really did not want to be in that situation. I really did not want to um I knew that it was the wrong thing, and I did what I could to get myself out of it as gracefully and quietly as I could. And so I I just we went to New Orleans for the weekend right after this, because I got hired at the spa like literally within one day. I went to Business Suites. I was relieved of my duties, and I literally went next door to the spa, and I was hired on the spot. So there was no downtime between jobs. Of course there wouldn't be. So um, I started working at the spa, and there was this really awesome dude, this guy, this old black guy who ran the shoe shine booth that was literally sitting outside the spa. It was a whole like chair, right? And there was this old black dude who was cool as fuck, and he would always come in and say hi. Well, about a week after I started, he was fired, and they put this other guy in the spot who was clearly a Fed. This thing was now I was under like direct federal. The whole time I worked at the spa, there was a Fed positioned outside. They fired a guy to do this. Somebody lost their job. It's insane. Somebody lost their job, and this guy was clearly a Fed. Clearly, like he just smelled like bacon. I encountered so many Feds while I was in Houston because of what Houston is involved in. What goes on in Houston involves the federal government. Every regulatory agency of the federal government is involved in the infrastructure of Houston, fucking Texas. There are so many fucking Feds there. And you don't really think of it because you're just living your life. But they made sure I knew about them. I had the fucking cops, the sheriff, just like I will never forget. Shortly after we moved to Houston. Oh, Ashkenazi, awesome. The Jews that nobody believes are actually Jews. What was I saying? What the hell was I saying? The Blue Lotus kicked in. Sorry. So, the thing about Blue Lotus is that after I end this stream, I'm going to be alone with my thoughts. And the thing about Blue Lotus is when you are under its influence and you are using it and you are alone with your thoughts, that's when you start to have to confront yourself, and you will start to realize that a lot of the negative self-talk that you entertain as your own is given to you. It's not coming from you. It's not your natural state. Self-loathing is not a natural state. It was one given to humanity. Because if you hate yourself and you believe that you're a sinner, then you're going to act accordingly. Because as a man believes in his heart, so he is. So if you are taught that you are a sinner, that you are born sinful, I I don't think you guys understand the psyop that is Christianity. I don't think you guys understand the psyop that is Christianity, what it actually is telling you, what it is programming you to believe and accept. And I say this because I was in the church. Like, you cannot come to me and be like, you just don't understand. Oh, I absolutely understand, sweetheart. I know more about the Bible than you do, I would wager. But what's more, is according to the Latter-day Saints, Yeshua ben Joseph, aka Jesus Christ, is in my family tree, in my genealogy. And there's a reason why they would want to suppress that truth and would not like me to know that. Because I had a big fucking mouth, don't I? I got a big mouth. So, well, here's the thing about Jesus, Yeshua. He tells us plainly in the Gospels, he says it outright, that the nation of Israel worshipped the devil. He flat out told these fucking Pharisees, Sadducees, and religious leaders that their father was Satan, a liar, the liar. He came to expose Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, as a fraud. That's why they killed him. That's why they killed him. And that's simply the truth. So they came to, Yeshua, Jesus, came to expose the religious authorities of the time, of the nation, as frauds. They did not worship the Father in heaven. They worshiped Satan because they followed the Babylonian Talmud. And Marduk, who is Satan, is the god of Babylon. Marduk is the god of Babylon. And Revelation is all about the fall of Babylon. And we are witnessing, we are alive to witness biblical prophecy come to pass. Hang on. Okay. So, Yeshua came to tell the religious leaders in Israel who follow the Babylonian Talmud, as well as the Jewish religious leaders of today, follow the Babylonian Talmud. Israel, the state of Israel, is Babylonian, is engaged in Babylonian worship. They follow the Babylonian Talmud. Yeshua was from Galilee. He is called the man from Galilee. Now, why is that significant? And what is Galilee? Well, Galilee was where the Jerusalem Talmud, the school of the Jerusalem Talmud, was located. And Yeshua, Jesus, was a rabbi of the Jerusalem, the school in Galilee that taught the Jerusalem Talmud. Now, Jesus, Yeshua, went to Jerusalem and he taught in the synagogues because he was a rabbi. He was a licensed rabbi. He was a sanctioned rabbi. So he was allowed to teach in the synagogues. He was allowed to go to the temple and preach on the steps. They did not let him go inside and preach because they only taught the Babylonian Talmud. The Pharisees, the Sadducees. Jesus, Yeshua, taught the Jerusalem Talmud. And this is evidenced by the fact that his parables were related to agriculture. And the Jerusalem Talmud was primarily concerned with agriculture in Israel because they were farmers and shepherds. So all of Yeshua's parables were related to agriculture. Go read the Gospels and realize that he was teaching the Jerusalem Talmud, not the Babylonian Talmud. This is why the religious leaders of his day and even today reject Yeshua as the Messiah, because he only taught the Jerusalem Talmud. He only adhered to the Jerusalem Talmud. So they murdered him and then started a religion to celebrate what they did. And then Paul, who was a Pharisee and a Roman and a member of the tribe of Benjamin, who was exiled in Judges 21 for the rape and murder of a Judean woman. Yeshua was Judean. He was from the tribe of Judah. So Paul gets exiled by the Jewish followers of Jesus, right? The apostles who were with Jesus. They exile Paul because they know he's a Pharisee and he presided over the murder of Stephen. And now he wants to take Stephen's place. Like, he blatantly murdered Stephen and is like, okay, now I'm the new Stephen. And the Jewish followers, the apostles, the disciples were like, fuck you, dude. And they said, get the fuck out. And this is literally written about in the Bible. So Paul was rejected by the disciples and then went to the Gentiles because he was exiled and started a whole fucking religion. And it is called the Catholic Church. It's called the Catholic Church, just in case you were wondering. And that is the actual origin stories of the Catholic Church. In case you were wondering, Paul is the Antichrist. Now, I wrote an entire article about this and posted it on Facebook, and it got me in a lot of trouble. Well, now that shit is everywhere, and the Epstein files have been released. So everything, like, they fucking drugged me at gunpoint over this. I was drugged at gunpoint for talking about these things. They got a judge to commit me over Thanksgiving weekend because I talked about these things. And guess what? I was right. So I am going to be insufferable from here on out. Just so you know. It doesn't matter if anybody's here right now. It doesn't matter if I have 20 in the box, 50 in the box, 100 in the box. I'm not speaking to you, Muggle. I'm speaking to the field. I'm speaking to the Creator. I just happen to be live streaming while I do it. If anyone wants to come in and listen and be a part of this moment, they're welcome to. But I'm literally speaking to the field of creation. So the universe is 96% dark matter and dark energy, meaning that humans can only see about 4% of everything that exists. And when you consider how vast our knowledge is, the library of history, science, like everything that humanity knows, I mean, we have satellites in space. Like, we have done amazing things with what we do know about the structure and nature of the universe. We have a large hadron collider in Switzerland determined to um, find the God particle that allows us to create matter, atomic matter, from dark matter, to convert dark matter into atomic matter. That is what the Higgs boson is, the search for the Higgs boson. Thus, the Large Hadron Collider at CERN is intended to do. They are literally trying to create matter from dark matter. Dark matter, dark energy, cannot be measured except by what it creates. And human consciousness has the ability to tap into the dark energy and the dark matter field and influence and literally create matter, change reality, rescript everything based on your understanding of this fact, this one fact alone. The only thing that stops you is your lack of belief in this, your lack of understanding, your belief that you are your life, that you're a puppet on a fucking string, and your life is scripted, and you don't have any control. And when it's your time, it's your time. That's literally the only thing that stops you from creating a reality that matches your values and what you treasure. Yeshua said, to store your treasures in heaven. Heaven is in the heart. Heaven, what you store in heaven, what does it mean to store your treasures in heaven? It means to never lose sight of what matters. That when you look around at the world around you and it doesn't seem to measure up to your values, it's because your treasures are stored in heaven. All matter, all material items, like everything in the material world decays, right? It breaks down and it's recycled and it reincarnates, right? Everything. There's nothing new under the sun. So everything is been here from the beginning. The fact that the Bible literally says there's nothing new under the sun, you are under the sun. You are not new. You are not new. Because there's nothing new under the sun. So you have always been here in one form or another. And the fact that you think this is your first time, that you what? Okay. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I ordered dinner. Indian food. I like to make them hand it to me because I want to make sure that the order is right. When it comes to food, you want them to hand you your fucking food so you can open your bag and you can be like, okay, everything I ordered is here. When you tell them to like leave it at the door, it's like, no, fucking knock my door and fucking hand it to me. Like, it's not COVID anymore, guys. We don't have to fucking be afraid to like. I just don't want to like get my order and realize it's wrong and then have to go through the whole fucking DoorDash uh, song and dance. You know what I mean? Like, it's dumb. You know what I mean? So I always make DoorDash like hand me my order. So Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, is in fact a minor Canaanite storm deity that was adopted by Abraham because he left Babylon, right? His father was an idol maker. So Abraham was not monotheistic. He was not raised to be monotheistic. There was multiple gods and he believed all of them were real. But then Yahweh approached him and made a deal with him and a covenant with him and then proceeded everything that came out. So, but Yahweh wasn't the most supreme God. Not even close. He was actually a minor deity. It's crazy. So Yahweh was this minor storm deity, and he needed somebody to rule because gods need someone to worship them. That's their gods. They don't feel complete if someone's not worshiping their name and calling them, the best god ever, right? Like, monotheism is not, it does not, like, monotheism does not refute the existence of other gods. It just says we only worship one God. We know there are other gods out there because if monotheism negated polytheism, then there would be no need for monotheism because there is no other God to worship. The fact that you need monotheism means that there are other gods. There are other gods. And for the most part, those gods were like all family members. So, like, they didn't care if you worshiped multiple gods because they were all family members. They were brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles. They were a family, these pantheons. But then you have this, asshole, Yahweh, who is a minor storm and he's greedy for power. So he, like, takes these, like, Hebrew he like approaches, he like takes all these Hebrew slaves and he's like, yeah, you worship me and I'll make you a great nation. And he was given this authority by his father, Yahweh. Yahweh had a father. So, like, none of these gods that people have worshipped throughout history were actually source. They were always lesser deities. They came from source. They were never source themselves. Until we get to Yeshua. Who pointed people to source, Father in heaven. He told people, pray to the Father in heaven. He didn't say pray to me. He didn't say worship me. He said follow me and do what the fuck I tell you. And what I'm telling you is that you need to worship the source. You need to follow, you need to pray to source. You need to connect to source. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespass as we forgive those who trespass against us. For thine is the power, the kingdom, the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So Yeshua clearly pointed to the Father. it doesn't matter that people worshiped him. It, like, that's on them. What Yeshua was saying was pray to the Father in heaven. Like, skip the church, skip the middleman, and just go straight to the source. And then they totally started a religion to prevent that people from doing that, because now they got you praying to Jesus and worshiping Jesus instead of going to source, when Jesus said clearly, go to fucking source. Our Father who art in heaven. He is not talking about the fucking God of the Jews, the Old Testament Jews. He wasn't talking about that Father in heaven. Jesus clearly told the Jews that they worshipped the devil. Go read the Gospels. I'm not going to do this for you. You're going to have to figure it out. Go read the Gospels. Jesus told us that the nation of Israel, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, who were the religious rulers of his day, but he's referencing all of the religious leaders. This was a sample, right? The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the people who ruled Jerusalem, who claimed to be the chosen ones, right? They worked with Rome, right? They worked closely with Rome. As a matter of fact, the Gospels tell us that the Pharisees and the Sadducees went to the Rome and said, hey, we want this guy silenced. Pontius Pilate, crucified Jesus because he was under pressure by Israel to do so. Read the story and then get back to me. So fast forward to 2026 and we have Israel literally doing the same thing they were doing back in Jesus' day. Literally doing the same thing. More people need to hear this. More people need to understand this. Like, this isn't, like, I'm not, a lot of it is me hindering myself because I know how dangerous this information is. The truth is so dangerous. People are so fucking indoctrinated that the truth is going to destroy them for a little while, and the government is really worried about that. They're so worried that the truth is going to destroy your mind and make you unstable and contribute to a whole lot of civil unrest. And they have enough of that shit on their hands right now. Oh, I get it. Doesn't mean I shouldn't speak. It absolutely doesn't mean I shouldn't speak. Because I'm going to speak. You cannot silence this. This is what I'm talking about. All your attempts to suppress me. Well, this shit is still coming out, isn't it? It's still happening. Your all of your efforts to suppress me isn't helping you at all, now is it? All that gaslighting that y'all did, drugging me, letting me go insane instead of making it right. Like, you could have stopped me from going insane. Like, you knew exactly what you did. You could have stopped all of that. You could have helped me, but you let it happen because you enjoyed the fucking show. Just admit it. You enjoyed fucking humiliating me. You enjoyed watching me humiliate myself after what you fucking did to me, you sadistic pieces of shit. I would never have done any of that if not for that fucking medication that you put me on and the shit that you pulled. At no point did I want to go through any of that. Did I ask for any of that? I was simply telling the truth. And you came at me for it. Nobody being in my box right now, nobody, like, having nobody here is not going to deter me, because I'm actually speaking to the field, the quantum field. I'm speaking truth to power. I'm stating the truth, and that's really all I have to do. I don't need an audience for that, now do I? It's totally fine if no one is here. Like, that's fine. An audience is just an audience. They're not going to make a difference. And in fact, the wrong energy could completely derail what I'm trying to accomplish. Nobody being here is not a bad thing, actually. It allows me to focus my energy on the field without being distracted by someone's comments. Oh, hey, somebody's here. How are you? Oh, they left. I did it just as working for Eli. I hope he wins his court case. No, I really hope he wins his court case. Do I hope he wins because I think Eli is such a great life coach? I think that he has potential as a result of going through all of this. I think he actually has potential. Do I personally like Eli? Not really. He's kind of an asshole. Like, personally. Hey, what's up, Cobra? So, I can tell you right now that um I I'm not, this is not about how I personally feel about Eli. Understand, I can separate my personal likes, dislikes from what is right and what is wrong. Morality. Because morality and your personal pleasure are not always compatible, right? Your personal preference is not always compatible with what is just like objectively moral. And what is morality? Morality is a standard that can be applied across all spectrums, right? Like, do unto others, right? Like, it doesn't matter what your race, your nationality, your religion, there's a basic tenet of human behavior that crosses all boundaries, geographic, racial, time, it doesn't matter. The objective truth, the objective morality that we should all live by is the golden fucking rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I know. It's okay, Cobra. Listen, I'm glad you're here, dude. I'm happy you're here. Thank you for coming. I listen, time is valuable, and the fact that you would give me even a little bit of your time to hang out means a lot to me. So I just want you to know I appreciate that. I really do. Because you could be doing other shit right now, but you're hanging out with me. And that actually matters to me because it means that you value what I have to say. And I find that very touching, and I'm grateful. And I am appreciative that you would take the time to hang out with me and talk to me. And I love that. Thank you. And I respect you. And I'm grateful because like you don't have to be here. You're not this isn't an assignment. You're like choosing to hang out with me. So that's cool. And I appreciate that. Thank you. I do. That means a lot. Because you could be doing other shit. But you and I'm a witch, so like you could be like all weirded out by that. Like like you could be all like bitch is a witch, like she's evil. But you know, you got to know me. You chose to get to know me instead. So you have an open mind and an open heart and you're willing to learn new things. And I find that just so awesome that you're willing to learn something new. Like you're willing to just, you know, hear things like without getting like offended or angry or you're feeling challenged. Like you just like hang out and learn some new things, and that's awesome. This is a lot about like you're a person that wants to grow. Tells me that you're someone that wants to grow. You're someone who wants to like enlarge their personal world and learn about things and get to know new people. So that's cool. That's a great character trait. It really is. Like you're just hanging out, and that's fun. Oh, Flex is going live. I just saw that. Is he doing it now? I can go hang out if you guys want. You guys want to hang out? I can go hang out. I'm just chilling here. Is he doing it now? Should I go over? Or is he planning on doing it later? I don't know. But let me know when he's live. I'll go be a support. I'll go support. I can go hang out with you guys. For a little while anyway. I still have to oh my god. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. There's so much pressure on me right now to like succeed. Um, this is an opportunity. It's also a, going to be a real challenge. Like I'm going to have to stretch myself. Like it's going to be uncomfortable. This opportunity is not always going to feel good. Like I already know this. Like I've already been like no one is sugarcoating anything, and they're happy for me, and they believe that I can. If anybody can do it, I can do it. And this vote of confidence is really allaying a lot of fears and insecurities that I've been having about this promotion, this move. Um, the opportunities are endless, right? But so are the 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 opportunities to like succeed and really impress everybody. It's my understanding that if I just continue to show up as I do, just as myself, and I continue to do what I do, that I'm going to shine. Like I just have to keep doing what I'm doing. I don't have to do anything new. I don't have to develop. I mean, I'm going to have to develop a ton of new skills. I literally have like 2 weeks of like super intensive training. Like I'm going to be working 6 days. I'm going to be 6 days. Like, this is going to eat up most of my time. And so, this is going to be my identity. It is literally going to have to, like, consume me in order to be successful at it. So I, there's there is so much that like I'm already thinking about the changes I want to make and the things that I think I can bring to the table to really like I want to validate this confidence that everybody has in me. So much confidence in my ability. Like everybody's like, you got this. If anybody can do it, you can do it. Yeah, like they genuinely have confidence in me. And so I'm like, well, I'm just the pressure to not fail at this. The pressure to not fail because of how much confidence everybody has in me that I'm the right person for the job. That I'm the one. That I'm the one. I'm the chosen one, right? I have a Facebook, but I don't use it. But it's Dana Marie Kane, and there's a picture. You'll recognize me, so you can go and browse my Facebook if you want. It's a lot of history there. If you want to learn about me, then Facebook is where you want to go. So yeah, just go. Yeah, I don't use it though, so it's there. You're welcome to browse. It took me a long time to be able to have like my Facebook was a big trigger for a long time. Look, those photographs were really hard to look at. Um, and it was a huge sign of my healing, my personal healing, when I was able to reactivate that Facebook and go through those photographs. That was a huge victory for me. I wasn't triggered. I was nostalgic because I had this realization when I'm looking at my children, pictures of my children when they were very young, babies and young boys, and I realized it's like they were always going to grow up. Things were always going to change. You are grieving. Why are you grieving? Look at the life you had. Look at how great your life was. Like you have every reason to be happy. It doesn't matter that it ended. It was always going to end. But don't let how it ended ruin the memories, the happy memories. Because they were genuinely happy memories. They were great times. And I allowed all of that to be spoiled because of how it ended, you know? So the ability to go back and look at those photographs, look at my life, and not be triggered to like start screaming and the cops show up. Like the cops had to show up a couple of times over my meltdowns. I don't just cry. I like the cops end up getting called. Like I have epic meltdowns. The cops end up being called. So like I I don't need that in my life. So the fact that I was able to reactivate this Facebook account and look through those pictures and like post them to say, yeah, this is the life. Because I went crazy and so many people only saw that side. They didn't see everything that happened that drove me to that. So maybe look at the life that was stolen from me. Maybe look at what I had and then ask yourself, hey, if that was taken from you, how would you feel about that? How would you react? Right? You want my actual phone number? Okay, so I can't give you my phone number like here because there's people might, you know, I plan to post this. Um, but if we go on Flexes, um, okay, so I'm uncertain. It sounds like you try to text them numbers. look up. Look up. Okay, I'm so sorry. Like, the Blue Lotus is. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm sorry. It- So I'm reading the screen and it says, try a text, them numbers. And so I'm wondering if you're like trying to get my actual number. And I don't know. Anyway, so long story short, if you want to like text me, that's fine, but I just don't want to give out my number on live stream. So we could like, if we are on like live stream later, you know, I like texting is it's literally how I do business. So there was this effort to suppress me because of who I actually am. I'm starting to kind of understand um the enormity of it, because when I think about the amount of gaslighting that went into suppressing me and convincing me that I'm crazy and that there's nothing special about me. That I mean that whole thread on Kiwi Farms is intentionally designed to undermine any confidence that I had in who I am and what I was sent here to do. That entire thread. And of course Tammy played a big role in it, didn't she? Even now, the only thing she can say about me is you're a drunk. Yeah, so you're fat. What's your point, bitch? I can stop drinking. Can you lose the weight? You understand. I can stop drinking, but can you lose the fucking weight? Talk to me after you've dropped 200 pounds. I mean, seriously, though. Like, judging the way other people sin is so arrogant. We all sin differently, sweetheart. That's why we are careful about judging others, because as we judge, we shall be judged, correct? You don't get to judge my bad habits without looking at your own. And you clearly have an unhealthy relationship with food. Here's the thing, bitch. Here's what I've learned. And this is not widely understood or known by the medical or scientific community, especially the weight loss community. Because as I was researching having gastric bypass, yeah, they're like, don't drink. But I didn't drink at the time, so I didn't think it applied to me. Except the chemistry changes that happen in your brain might cause you to develop a substance abuse disorder that you didn't have before. And this is not widely discussed. It is warned against. They tell you do not drink. They do not stress how, at least in my experience, and this could have changed and it could be different, and I hope it is. I hope that everyone who undergoes gastric bypass is made aware of the risk of alcohol abuse disorder after having this surgery. The dopamine hit you get from alcohol that you are now lacking in your ability to eat food, you can drink and fucking all of a sudden You get the dopamine that you cannot get from food. You have now cut off your supply of dopamine from food because you want to lose weight. Well, guess what? You still need dopamine, and alcohol is the quickest way to get it. Hands down. So, what they are serious about telling patients who have gastric bypass not to drink, and they say it's hard on your liver and blah, blah, blah. But what they need to stress more than anything else is your risk of becoming a full-fledged alcoholic is extremely high if you have gastric bypass because of fucking dopamine. And that's just the facts. It's just science. It's just absolute science. You cannot cheat biology long term. Not without, I mean, it takes a long time for the body to like, I mean, there's a reason why we need B12 is because we evolved into a meat eating society. So the reason why you need B12 is because you need meat. Because your brain evolved to need meat. So anybody who says that eating meat and then they try to like avoid the reality and then they're like, oh, it's cruel to eat meat. Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of human history. So much human history that literally our brains changed. It changed our brains to require a nutrient that is only found in meat, B12. And without it, you're going to die. Oh my God. Thank God for synthetic B12, correct? So people who are like eating meat is a sin. Well, you are giving yourself brain damage, honey. Because I guarantee you're not getting enough of the nutrients that you is found mostly in animal products because guess what? You are genetically linked to those animals and you need them to survive. There's no sin in eating meat. It's everything is intention. Everything. Everything is motivation. What is your motivation? What is your golden ratio? What is your why for everything you do? What are you doing it for? Are you just going through the motions or do you have a purpose when you wake up in the morning? I have a purpose. I have a purpose. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is say good morning to Hecate. I welcome her. I welcome the day. Because I I I have one of two ways of living. I can live in misery and anger, or I can choose to be happy and grateful for the life I have. That's my two fucking choices for every morning when I wake up. How am I choosing to greet the day? How I greet the day is how my day goes. So when I wake up in the morning and I say good morning and I go make my coffee and I'm grateful that I have coffee. I'm grateful that I have a means to make coffee in the morning, that I'm not homeless, that I'm not like I take time to be grateful for the life that I have, for everything I have. I've worked so hard for it. It's so precious to me. It may not mean anything to anyone else, but I am so grateful for the life I have created here. So I wake up every morning and I am grateful. Every single morning. I say thank you. I write in my journal. I prepare myself for success. I take the time to center myself and prepare myself for the day ahead. I don't just roll out of bed, half asleep, drive to work, and then go through the motions. I'm actually thinking about what I need to accomplish, what I need to do that day, like what my goals are. What my goals are. Most of the time, it's really practical, mundane shit that does not inspire any revolutions. It's just like normal shit, like, you know, do this, or like it's not like your daily goals. It your long-term success depends on your ability to carry out small tasks, mundane tasks. Everything doesn't have to be life changing. Your goal for the day can simply be don't go to jail, don't, stay sober. That could literally be your one goal for the day. If that's what your plan is, if your plan is to stay sober, then make that your fucking goal to stay sober. If your plan is I don't want to drink today, make that a goal. Stay sober, don't drink. It's just that simple. If your goals are overly lofty or impossible to achieve in a 24-hour period, then don't make that your fucking goal. Make your daily goal something that you can conceivably achieve within a 24-hour period. If your goal is I don't want to drink, if your goal is go to work, if your goal is to make fucking tacos because it's Tuesday, that is a worthy goal. That's a worthy goal. You don't have to have a daily goal of doing something awesome. It can literally be just the normal shit that you do every day. Go to work, stay sober, clean the litter box. That can be your goal for the day. No one has to know. You can live an ordinary life and still engage in magic, everyday magic. The the point is to see yourself as magical and therefore you will see your actions as magical. You won't divorce yourself from the magic of your life because you will start to see yourself as a magical being. And therefore everything you do is magic because you are the magic. That is what being a witch taught me, that being a Christian could never teach me, is personal power. And the shitty thing is, the worst part of this is that as a witch, now as I go back through the Gospels and I reread them through this understanding of personal power, I realize that that is literally what Jesus taught. I am living for the Lord by how I live my life and the choices that I make and the things that I choose to do. I'm doing what Jesus commanded. I'm following him. And to you who were raised to worship Jesus as a God rather than follow him and literally do what he did, what I'm saying, might sound like blasphemy, but it's the truth, guys. It's literally the truth. It's I spent my entire life as a Christian, a devout. I don't think you guys understand just how much time I devoted to worshiping Jesus. I went to church when I wasn't forced to go. I would literally choose to go to church. I'm like 10 years old and I'm calling my aunt, who was a member of the local Pentecostal church, to say, hey, I want to go to church on Sunday. Like, I made the effort to go to church even when I did not have to, even as a child. The choice, I loved going to church. I went to church because I loved being there. Something about going to church felt normal. It felt sane. It felt right. It felt safe. I, I cannot tell you that I had a bad experience in church, that I was ever mistreated by any member of any congregation that I ever belonged to. I won't speak ill of the people. I won't even speak ill of the congregation. Like, I never experienced any ill treatment at the hands of any church member. So I don't speak ill of the church. It's the congregations that I belong to. I don't speak ill of them. But being a witch has set me free of a lot of the bondage that I struggled with as a Christian. A lot of the inconsistencies of faith that I was expected to swallow. Now all of it is resolved and I understand. I am not angry anymore. I'm certainly not angry at anyone in my life now. Hang on, I have to pee. All right, I'm back. Oh, hey. What's up? How you doing? How are you? So, what was I talking about? Oh, hey guys, what's up? Say hey. Say hello. How are you? How are you doing? I had to pee. Dude, I have to. Ever since I learned that coffee does not dehydrate you, I proudly down at least three a day. Three venti iced coffees every day. I make a point of getting iced coffee every single day. I fucking love iced coffee. I, I seriously, I have a love affair specifically with Starbucks iced coffee. Just a Starbucks iced coffee. I have tried multiple establishments iced coffee, and it is specifically Starbucks iced coffee that I am particularly drawn to. And I don't really know why, except that I really fucking like the way it tastes. And I like how I feel when I get my first iced coffee of the day. I love Starbucks iced coffee. And I would have loved to have boycotted Starbucks, over the Palestine thing, but that meant giving up Starbucks iced coffee. Sorry. I'm sorry. I have a problem. I'm having an addiction to Starbucks iced coffee. I don't really know how to explain it, but literally that is the highlight of my day is getting an iced coffee, a Starbucks iced coffee. I'm not proud of that. All right, well, good night, dear. Good night. Thank you for coming by. I really do appreciate it. So, doing witchcraft has really ignited my personal power. Um, yeah, and no, if Flex goes live and he wants me to come over, I would be happy to. So let me know if he wants me to hang out. I don't want to intrude. Yeah, I, I'm always aware. Like I think about things like that. Like I go and hang out on GLM's panels, but I also know that I can be long-winded when I'm telling a story. So, I don't want to be like intrusive and like take up too much space. Like I realize there's other people on panel, and I worry. Like I think about that. Like I don't want to be a nuisance. I don't want my presence to be a nuisance to the people around me. So, like I worry that I talk too much. And so, um, I have to be invited. I don't want to impose. Like if you want me to come hang out and like I get it. Like I don't want to be obnoxious. So, I just say like if you want me to come hang out, I'm happy to, but if you don't, that's cool too. Like just let me know. I don't want to be a bother. So I do know why they suppressed me. I get it now. I have enormous power. I barely understand any of it. I just know that somehow my existence on this planet, my birth, was some sort of a harbinger, right? Some sort of prophecy fulfilled that is not common knowledge because you don't want to scare the population, right? You don't want to scare people. But literally, all I had to do was be born. And and all of these things set into motion a series of events designed to keep an eye on me. My marriage to Skip Kane, I still contend this. After all of this time, I still contend that my marriage to Skip Kane was arranged. It felt forced. It felt rushed. It felt orchestrated. Like everything about it felt performative. And I wasn't given a whole lot of chance to think about it. I was just like, this is the perfect guy. Here's your house. Here's your car. Like, shut up. And you have nothing to complain about. You are literally being given the golden fucking ticket. I had a brand new car and a house I was allowed to redecorate entirely. New floors, new paint, new windows, new carpet. Just I was able new furniture, like expensive gallery furniture. Like I didn't like these days. I'm like, if I can get it out of the trash, I will. No, back then, I was buying gallery furniture to furnish my house. I drove a brand new car, a Chevy Cavalier. I I was handed this fairy tale on a silver platter. Oh my god, what happened, Mare Moon? Tell me. Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me. Tell me now. Tell me what happened. So I was presented. I was living with my parents. I was working graveyards in a greasy spoon. So I was not in a position to negotiate with whatever solution my parents devised at the time. And when they found out about Skip and they met him, they decided that I should marry him, that he was the one. And they put a lot of pressure on me. And Skip was under similar pressure from his parents because, especially his dad, who was a bigwig in the Bureau of Prisons, and his dad was a Marine Corps veteran who was impressing upon my ex the need to get serious about his life and settle down and start a family and focus on his career. And I was the perfect candidate. In every fucking respect, I was the perfect candidate. Okay, Eli is having a moment. he's the pressure of this, the torture, the psychological torture of being targeted and having to take this route. I'm not going to shit on him. I'm sorry. I'm not going to add to that. I am absolutely not going to be the Jenga. I'm sorry. I'm not. I really hope Eli wins his case. I really do. I am sitting here rooting for Eli. I need everyone to know this. I'm not going to be shy. It's the night before his appearance in court, and he has devoted so much of his time to researching this and educating himself. I am impressed with the amount of time and effort he has given and the things he's doing. Like, Eli, I believe in you. I hope you're watching this. I hope you hear this. I believe in you. I support you. I don't subscribe and I'm not going to give you money and you're not my life coach. But I feel like what's been done to you is wrong. 100%. It's wrong. You did not deserve that. You're allowed to be wrong, Eli. You're allowed to grow and learn as a human being. You're allowed to develop your skills, and you've been just relentlessly attacked. And the shit, dude. Jamie paying somebody, a 13-year-old, to accuse you of sexual abuse, it was the final straw. The moment I heard that, I was like, what? Are you serious? Like, I did not want to believe that was real. That was horrific. I'm appalled. I'm so ashamed. I genuinely hope that Eli wins this case. I feel like this is a watershed moment. That Eli's growth and development in his chosen profession has been greatly hampered. His earning potential has been greatly hampered by the actions of many other people. This has been a concerted effort by a group to ruin a man's earning potential. This has been their stated goal, is to stop him from making money in his chosen profession. A judge should, if justice is working, a judge should see this and decide that this needs to be looked at more closely. And this is my stance on that. That I feel, and what I believe, based on what I've learned about this. Do I like Eli personally? Like, do I want to hang out with him? No. That's not what this is about. This is not about my personal likes or dislikes of an individual. This is literally about what is moral, what is right, what is correct, what is just. This is not me simping for Eli Mellis. I am a witch. I am a misandrist. I am a retired Navy wife who gave birth to and raised 4 sons. I don't take advice from men, ever. If you say something that I find to be astute, then I will acknowledge that and I will agree with you. I'm not trying to tear you down just because you have a penis. I have sons. So, what I'm saying is that the fact that you have a penis means nothing to me. Like, what you're saying, does what you're saying make sense? Okay. I don't need your gender for that. Common sense doesn't know gender. Common sense is gender fucking neutral. So if you say something, no matter what, whether you have a penis or vagina, if what you're saying makes sense to me, then whether you have a penis or vagina, what I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I'm not endorsing your gender. I'm just saying, yeah, that's correct. It's not gender bias, it's truth biased. It's simply truth biased. So, because I'm not actively out to embarrass and humiliate Eli Mellis, I actually listen when he speaks, and I surmise, based on what he says, what he's actually trying to convey, the intent behind what he's saying. Because I'm not out to prove him right or wrong. I'm literally just trying to understand the man. I'm not trying to make a moral judgment on whether or not what he's saying is right or wrong. I'm trying to understand why he's saying what he's saying. I'm trying to understand him, not defend myself. He's not coming at me. I've made many statements about Eli, and he's never come at me. He knows I am right. Oh, hey. I think that Eli will win. He should win. It is my sincerest hope for Eli, for this situation, that the judge will see that there is something worth looking into here, something worthy of attention from the judicial system, that Eli has not been treated fairly. He's been attacked. He's been maligned. He's been slandered. He's been defamed. I've seen it for myself. And I conclude that Eli definitely has a case. Jamie, you wasted how many years of your life trolling this man for cheap donations and laughs? Instead of developing your own talents and career, Jamie, you decided to go after Eli. That's what I see. That's exactly what I see. Don't argue. You cannot win. I've heard your arguments, and you're wrong. You're simply wrong, Jamie. My name is worded, by the way. Speaking of me publicly will only bring me blessings. You cannot hurt me. You cannot reach me. You cannot harm me in any fashion. Speaking my name won't hurt me. It will help me. You should know this. To assume that my enemies have power is to assume that I am their victim or their slave in some way. I am not the slave nor the victim of any enemies. So I think Eli will win. I want him to win. I legitimately and genuinely want Eli Mellis to win his case. This is for the best. This is the best possible outcome, that Eli wins his case. Because I want victims of cyber abuse, cyber stalking, and cyber harassment to have an outlet, to have a like, Eli can definitely, Eli, you want to be a life coach. I have your niche. Overcoming, being victorious in this case with Jamie, being able to show and prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you have been the victim of this targeting disguised as criticism, legitimate criticism. No, it's not legitimate. It's, you guys literally paid a minor to accuse Eli of sexual assault. That is not criticism of opinion. That is outright targeting. There's plenty of evidence that Eli has been targeted by this group. And if this does make a case, if it does become a case, then the feds can get involved and they can start investigating people's financials. That could be problematic, I imagine. That could be problematic. Investigating people's financials. And just so you know, the FBI will investigate for years before making a move. They will have all their ducks in a row. They will be looking into you and you won't know they are. That's the FBI for you. So when I was finally called, when I was finally contacted by the Flagstaff field office of the FBI, and I was asked to come down for an interview, I already knew that they knew everything. I had called them while I was in New York. So when they finally reached out over this business with Tammy, it was just because she forced their hand. Do you think they felt, do you think that the FBI has any affection toward Tammy Hess? Because I highly doubt that. I highly doubt it. I had already called the FBI. I had already alerted them to my situation, which they were already aware. While I was in New York, I spent some time with a man who owned a wine shop in New York and worked as a linguist for the FBI. And he told me this. So I had physical contact with the actual literal FBI because of my involvement with Helgas. And Tammy Hess is a fucking idiot. No, bitch, you're stupid as fuck. You waded into these shark infested waters thinking that you're some sort of Billy badass. You're stupid as fuck to have involved yourself in any of this. Listen, I don't know if Eli is equipped to be a life coach. Perhaps. Perhaps I'm not trying to decide for him. I'm not making that decision for him. I'm not trying to decide one way or another whether Eli Mellis is equipped to be a life coach. I think after this experience, he probably is. You guys have given him so much life experience on overcoming haters. Good for him. Jamie, you squandered a decade, almost a decade, going after Eli. Now you will be in front of a judge. And no matter what the judge decides, dude, you wasted a lot of time on this shit with Eli. You wasted so much time targeting this man. And dude, I am a witch, but I'm also a woman, and I'm also not a little girl. And I know men. What do you have to show for anything you've done with your life these last 10 years? Because that's the question of the hour that you don't want to answer. You don't want to answer that. I know that you will see this, Jamie. I know that you watch. Like, you do. You watch my streams. You watch my videos. You see who I am. You know I'm legit. That's why you tread carefully with me, as you should. Honey, my name is warded. I I am very much protected, and my name is warded. I don't ask. I initiate. I don't request. I command. I don't pray. Gods don't pray.